Welcome to Dweller of the Dark. We are a channel honoring the yellowed and blackened bones of many prominent authors. We will be digging up several obscure, strange, and forgotten authors who influenced many of the great horror, science fiction, and fantasy writers today. More tales of the horrifying, obscure, strange, and forgotten are climbing out of the tombs. Subscribe, comment, like, donate, or I'll send Thaddeus Forge to steal your heathen soul. Unknown horror masters, send us ghoulish delights for the Skull and Bones collection. Your pound of writer's flesh will continue to feed our ghouls for now. Books, websites, podcasts, in the links below. Children of Horror, Legion of Ghouls. Tonight, The Devil of Black Bayou by Jeffrey LeBlanc. Chapter 1. My pirate brethren have said the tides wait for no man. But I am no man. Well, at least not anymore. Now I am cast adrift through the centuries, just as the endless seas, always to be tortured by the same horrific dream. It begins subtly enough. I close my eyes and hear the crack of distant lightning. It's almost dusk, and my ears detect the sea winds whistling away. I peer to the sun's horizon, seeing its molten red orb shimmering on the blood tides of Devil's Canyon. It's an ominous red sky that was no delight. I feel burning pain to my head and hear Marie's scream of outrage. I fall unconscious. Then the real nightmare slowly unfolds. I hear her screams. I am in darkness. I hear her shrieks. I am unable to act. I hear her pleas, then silence. I sob in the lightning and darkness. Groggily, I awaken, though I know not how long I was unconscious. I shake my head, feeling as if I have been submerged beneath the darkness of a fathomless sea. I smell the brine of the tossed waves. I feel the rocking and shifting of my ship and hear the roar of thunder overhead. I hear the creaking of the timbers and wind slapping and whistling through the sway of sails. In the same moment, as water from somewhere was splashed into my face, I feel the burning tightness of ropes binding my hands and chest as I sit secured to something. It's a disorientating feeling, to say the least. I'm confused as to who I am and how I got into this precarious predicament. There's a burning, throbbing knot to the back of my head, most likely where I was struck. The clouds of grogginess enveloping my mind clear. I let my memories come back. I had been cracked a good one by a bluster and rendered unconscious. But who did it? I get my answer from an insidious, familiar laugh. I stare up to the cold black eyes of a skeletal man with a thick, haggard beard.
Oh, how the mighty have fallen.
He slaps his leg with a spidery, grime-covered hand.
Look, Lucian, our beloved captain awakes. You didn't kill him after all. I owe you on our wager. You're right. He can take a punch.
The portrayal of who hit me hurts more than the blow to my skull. The nefarious Black Jim, the dastardliest of mutineers to say the least, and most certainly the evilest cold-blooded killer I have ever encountered, has for once spoken true. Regal, clean-cut, Lucian Parsons rubs his rugged jaw and lowers his head, looking on me pityingly. Apologies, Captain Valtaire. But you, Anne-Marie, wouldn't listen to reason. Your captain, and might I add friend, made the right call, Lucian Parsons. If he had listened to your fool's venture, all would have been lost. Taking that route to Port Royal, we would have been crushed by the British fleet in hours. That's if we survived the treacherous hurricanes and reefs to the east at this time of the year. I hear a calm and measured woman's voice. Side glancing, I catch my Marie covered in sea spray. She has been bound behind me to a wooden mast. My blood boils at the indignity rendered to my pregnant wife. All these men will hang when I break free and take control of my ship again. But I'll make sure to cut off Lucian's head in front of them before that. Revenge must be abated for now. They are not going to let us loose. Lucian is too smart for that. But there is a way. There's always a way to beat a sea devil. The hemp bindings are the ragged tatters I had ordered burned in Montenegro. Thankfully, the fools have belayed my order and will pay heavily for their laziness. I can break free these hemp bindings, but I must buy time. Maybe this swine and his devilish machinations can be swayed to buy time. Before I can begin this charade, this dance of deceit with Lucian, he turns with Black Jim and the men to talk over what they will do. I glance again to my right. I see the ropes have bitten in across Marie's belly. My temper is a blazing inferno at this outrage. But there'll be time to bring the blade and blood to the mutineers soon enough. For the immediate moment, I must stay focused on Marie. The mutiny for now is the least of my worries. I have to know she and our child aren't in peril by the bindings. Are you okay, my beloved? With my eyes focused and my head somewhat cleared, I whisper in a pained angst. All tied up and no place to go, Anton. This is far too familiar for my liking, husband. She manages to mutter sarcastically. The rope across my stomach is a little taut but bearable. I hear her sigh. They haven't hurt me either, if that's what you're asking, though Black Jim backhanded me. I'll kill him with my bare hands. I see the pirates turn and look back, laughing. Calm that temper of yours, Anton, if you want us to survive this. We have quite the trouble before us already. I heard my wife calmly sigh and rock back her head, disgusted. They lashed us to the mast. I think they mean to do more, my love. There's a length of binding near the bow with a rusted weight. Lucian moves back towards us. The red-haired man, with eyes of chestnut, goes to one knee beside me. My heart beats in a fury, but I steel my nerve. He had been my trusted friend and my diligent, if not lazy, first mate. Now he bends solemnly, proudly, and sits on the overturned bucket he used to wake me. Leaning in, he whispers with a sulphurous breath as foul as rotted carrion. Just tell us where you hid Lafitte's gold for his new stronghold, Galveston. Then once we secure the treasure, I promise to let you and your pregnant wife go, Captain Anton Valtaire. As I calm, thinking of my answer, I gaze over to a puddle of water lit by phosphorescent sea spray on the deck. My hair, black as a raven's wing, is disheveled and my beard unkempt. Both will need a trim after I square this. I take a deep breath to calm my Cajun temper. With a furrowed, tanned brow, I narrow my ocean blue eyes and look on the filthy pirate. In words of utter disgust, with an edge as sharp as a cutlass. You'd go a long way in earning my trust, Lucian Parsons, by untying my wife. Then we can speak plainly of this misunderstanding. Lucian rubs his chin and cocks his head. There's no misunderstanding, Captain. Jean Lafitte has hoarded his wealth from us for far too long. We earned those spoils. Hoarded? He gave you room, food, and board when you had none, Lucian. My eyes looked up to the mutineer and widened. I locked my gaze on him in disbelief and interrupted angrily. Jean was more than generous to all of you. He clothed you, fed you, treated you for your illnesses, and compensated you more than he should have. Anton's right, Lucian. Jean always looked out for you especially. Marie added to try and soften the proud pirate's stance and gain favor. Jean thought of you as his son, didn't he? Did he now, Marie? Lucian stood and walked to the bow to look at the impending storm. Yet, I was given no ship. I was never called captain like dear Anton. Nevertheless, I'm captain now. I lowered my head and growled. He could have given you twice his sum, and it still wouldn't have been enough. You would have been given so much more if you weren't such an undisciplined fool, Lucian Parsons. You wasted your shares on recklessness and frivolity instead of investing in land and mercantile like Jean advised all of you. You talk like our captain, Anton, yet here we are. Lucian Parsons turned from the sea and stared back on me. Then he walked out onto the main deck. He pointed to his men pouring barrels of oil onto my ship's prow. I have commandeered your precious gift from Lafitte. I took your ship with nigh a shot fired. You and that precious wife of yours sit tied to the mast. Oh, that smell you may have caught is whale oil. We doused the main, and I truly intend to burn this ship to ash unless you comply. Normally, I'd take her for a prize and sell to Tortuga, but there's no need for Lafitte to find out about our treachery today. Your men will brag. You will brag, Lucian. It's your nature. I looked up at him and spit a clot of blood from my bludgeoned mouth. Sooner or later, your treachery will reach Jean Lafitte's ears, and there won't be a place across any of the 7 seas to save you from his wrath. I say stop all of this now. Let me barter to get you a chest or 2 of gold. I'll figure something out to save your necks. Can I trust you to forgive this transgression, Captain Valterre? Will you be so generous to give me a meager chest or 2 of gold and then let me sail off to safe harbor? He looked out on a rolling fog bank and the whitecaps edging in from the imminent storm from the north. Of course you can, Lucian. For the years of loyal service to me and our brethren, I can forgive this overreach. I looked on him with the sincerest eyes I could muster, but knowing all the while I'd cut his head off and hang his body high in a gibbet over the deck for all to see once I had resumed command. There was no way in hell I'd let him get away with such a vicious slight. I continued my deceit with an earnest, kind face. You'll have more wealth than you can know what to do with, and Lafitte none the wiser to your devilish designs. I'd advise you to take your chest to Mexico and live out your days as wealthy planners.
You make it sound so enticing, Captain Valtaire. Me and the boys would be right respectable and even planters.
He unsheathed his sword and pointed it at me.
But you forget I know you, Anton. I have seen how you treat mutineers and thieves. I watched you burn that poor 14-year-old boy to death off the coast of Africa for stealing the ship's coins. I saw you down near the Cape when old Leatherlegs refused to climb the mast. You had the man fastened to the crow's nest until he was blasted by lightning on the third day of them damn storms.
For all your generous talk, Captain Valtaire, I know it's a lie. You'd run to Jean and then have Necoupe and the whole La Firomara sail south to burn us out and hang all of us in gibbets. I kept calm. I took the deepest of breaths. I knew in this instance Marie and my life depended on it. I nodded back to Marie. I have too much to lose, Lucian Parsons. I have long lost the desire to square a slight. I swear, my fiery will to call all of you to heel is extinguished. Take the righteous path, my dear friend, and let me and my family go. I grimaced and lowered my head, hoping he could see I was truly humbled. My words did have significance to him. For a moment, he touched the blade to my chin and raised my head. He locked his chestnut eyes on mine and smirked.
Seeing you humbled and bleeding is worth more than all the treasure in the world, Captain Anton Valtaire. To hell with Lafitte's treasure, men. We sail south to Mexico.
Now, will he drop us off at a port, my love, or maroon us on a beach? I felt Marie shifting behind me. She gripped my hand despite the bindings to her wrist. She whispered, "Whatever happens, Anton, I know you did your best to save us." With Lucian, it'll be a thick swamp to teach us a lesson. I groaned and looked up as lightning etched across a purplish night sky. Marie chuckled slightly, despite all she had endured this horrid evening, in her typical sarcastic wit as she gripped ever tighter my hand. "Hell, it won't be so bad after all this. We will build our family with you no longer distracted. No worries and no one but us on a desolate island or even a swamp. For once, I'll finally have you all to myself for the rest of our lives. Oh, how I do love you, my wayward wanderer." We sat there holding hands as best we could, fingers interlocked with the warmth of our touches. We gripped each other's hand, tethered as husband and wife, friend to friend, and soul to soul, pushing away the darkness of today's mutiny and the hidden terrors of the night. Our bond of love was so complete that even hell itself could not break it. And maybe, just maybe, heaven above had grown envious. I could give a goddamn for either of them. Onward we sat for what seemed an eternity beneath that storm-riddled sky and waited for Lucian to cut us free. Even as the first drops of rain fell, chilling us, we were unfazed. Marie, to lighten my spirits, made comical animal noises and reminded me of a misadventure I had with a gator back on the bayou. Growling like the alligator that had surfaced nearly biting my foot off, she exclaimed with giggles, "I've known two men to walk on water. One was our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. The second, when that gator surfaced, was Anton Valtaire."
Funny, Marie.
I rolled my eyes to the night winds as she continued making chomping sounds. I paused a moment, trying to stifle my own giggles. Then, losing control, I laughed and laughed hysterically, bringing tears to my eyes. How that woman could make me laugh. As the night dwindled on, I commented on the row upon row of glowing green waves as they white-capped and roared by. She joked of the odd shapes of the purplish blue thunderheads that were rolling with all the fury of a tempest. In the end, with winds picking up and the sound of rain pitter-pattering, both of us sat in silence, just thankful for each other's love, and most certainly grateful to be alive. Thank you for listening.
Have a great night.